2, 3. We are not live. We are not live, but we are alive. Hello, lovely Gary.
Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Very well. Bright and breezy today, bringing the sunshine today with the yellow, bringing the
Oh.
sun. Here comes the sun.
And
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit of a colour. I notice on screen I'm getting a bit of a tan. The
Yeah.
summer is coming. Hurrah!
Is definitely coming. Hurrah. Well, here we are. We're trying to bring the summer to your life, whether you're watching us in the middle of the winter or whatever, because we're trying to bring a bit of love and light to you here. This is Gary and I'm Rachel, and we do this every single Friday. What do? We talk about a little bit of sort of mindfulness things, meditation things, spiritual things. Well, as soon as you say spiritual, people turn off. What I mean is kind of the journey of life, the journey through life. What do we learn? What are these lessons about? What's life about? And then we always do a creative exercise. The exercise is designed for you to take 20 minutes away from your daily grind of life, and it is incorporating mindfulness. We don't sit here cross-legged with yoga pants, but we do simply get a biro or some very inexpensive watercolors like that, a quid down a local craft shop, and we just start playing. And all of these exercises are totally accessible. You do not have to be an artist. If you watch right at the beginning of our tea time tutorials, we've got about 45 on there now, you will see that I really was quite inhibited when I first started doing this, and now through this year-long of lessons that Gary's been giving me, I am now kind of going with the flow and really enjoying myself. And that's what it's about. Yes, you will learn and get better, but really it's about just being creative and enjoying yourself. So hopefully you'll like the content. If you do, please hit the like button. We'd love you to subscribe to the channel. It helps us to get the word out there. Any comments below will be answered, and they also help the channel. And of course, if you want to buy us a coffee, you can. Thank you to our regular subscribers who do. You know who you are. Yeah, thank you so much to everybody who supports the channel. So if you are going to go off to the exercise that we're going to be doing for you, we'll put the time code below and you can press it right now. So we'll see you there. But if you are staying with us, this is our little bit of mindfulness chat that we have. So I want to talk very briefly about the word gratitude, Gary. Gratitude. You know, a lot of these people who talk about manifesting and how we sort of create our thoughts, create our lives and things, the one thing that they say that you have to, come from the angle when you're manifesting, when you are wanting things to change in your life. I think sometimes these words are thrown out like manifesting, Gary. People think, once again, you've got to sit there cross-legged with candles. No, it's just about trying to be more positive in your life. And I think if you're more positive and you do more positive things, you will bring things to you. It's like energy. Energy reflects energy and attracts energy. Yeah. But I think in terms of wanting more positive things to come to you, you have to go at it from a positive mindset. And to me, that is gratitude. And you have to be grateful. And that means being grateful for whatever thing is thrown at you. And we've got a great example of something that just happened here, because always watch what the universe is sending you. We've got a great example of something that just happened this morning to Gary and I before we went live with this, in that I was saying to Gary that, you know, for my business next year, one of my teachers was saying, I'm going to do less classes. And my initial thought was, oh no, because, you know, that means in my head, I was like, well, I've got to search for somebody else to fill those classes now. And oh no, the business is getting smaller and everything's shrinking. And then Gary was saying, well, no, what that does is it gives you a chance to expand and explore new horizons and do something else. You're being pushed to do something else with the business, not just stick with this online classes and with this particularly famous tutor. It's given you a chance. And he said, you've got to look at it a positive way. And I was like, yeah. And then we started talking about how we could expand things. And at that particular moment, I just turned. I don't even know why I turned, but you saw it on camera, Gary. I just turned. Yeah. And I went, waving frantically at the camera to Gary. And I said, stop, stop, stop. And I wanted to show him, but I couldn't get the camera around there, that a truck drove past at that point, stopped right outside my house. He could have stopped down the house behind. It was a garbage disposal truck, but he stopped right outside my window. And the main bit that I saw of the truck was in the middle, and it said, we are looking to expand. And I just, and I read that to you, and you said, that's directly, a sign for you. There you go. You have to pay attention to the signs, but you have to be positive and have gratitude for everything that happens to you, the good stuff and the stuff that you perceive to be a setback, because it's not a setback. It's pushing you to where you are supposed to be. Whatever happens is pushing you onto the right route, because maybe you're just straying off that route for a second. And if you've got good intentions and you're positive and you're grateful, you will be put back on the right path. And that's what you've got to do. Have gratitude. Be thankful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, everything, if I ever look back, and you never trust these things. I think this must come as you get older or something, but you never trust. So when you're going through these things and something happens, think, oh, it's contraction. You think, oh, it's all, you know, it's not going to be as good, because we all get stuck in a rut. We think, oh, this is the rhythm. This is the pattern. We're in it. This is forever. No, something comes along, or, you know, someone wants to make some changes. I'm not leaving completely, but they want to explore something else. And oh, but we were used to this rhythm, we were used to this pattern, I want to stick with it. No, you also need to look at that and think, oh, this is an opportunity, this is my expansion in another direction. I found that looking back, you know, those things, when I have thought that myself, exactly how you think, exactly what you were saying to me earlier this morning, oh, it's contraction. And it wasn't. It actually moved me on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and you know, you just got to trust with it. You have, and that does take a bit, you know, a big leap of faith sometimes when somebody's like, oh my God, this is disaster. But just you've got to trust that actually it's not contraction, it's expansion all the time, moving forward.
And I heard a great thing the other day, and you know, and I think this is worth it for anybody. You know, no matter what you believe in, whether you believe in the universe, whether you believe in some kind of God for you, or whether you are, you know, into Buddhism, or whether you're not into any of that, try just asking for help. Just sit and take 5 minutes, close your eyes, and if you don't know where to go and you don't know what's happening, don't try and plan it. Don't do any of that. Just literally sit and just say, I would like some guidance, please. I'd like some guidance. I was doing a pray thing there, but I'm not saying you have to pray. That's just me sort of being comfortable. But you just sit and you go, I would like some guidance, please. I would like some guidance. Please show me some guidance. And it is amazing. The signs will arrive. They will. I always ask for trucks for things on the side. You know,
and you know what, Rach? I love the idea that it comes to you on vans, these like parked vans going by.
It does.
Like a billboard.
Yeah, it does. That's my thing. You know, just ask for how you want it to be. You know, but it could be anything. It could be anything. You could be people saying things to you, random strangers that you hear. And it is just that you have to always be listening and looking, because I really do believe that you get sent the messages when you need them. So there you go.
Lovely.
And here's another truck. No, there isn't, but if there was. You will have 1 million followers on YouTube in a year. Right, lovely, Gary. Let's do our creative exercise now then.
I've done a little bit of work for you already. I've actually drawn out, which you can go to the Crafty Monkeys website, and you can download a PDF for free, and you're going to download 3 little fishes. Now, if you feel really creative and you want to draw your own fishes, please do so. 3 little fishes. Completely, each one is different. Each one's different. It's got a little, I've given it a little bit of character already because I've put his eyes on and I've done the shape. But the task for today's bit of mindful practice is what a lot of people do, is colouring in. So it's about colouring in, but you're going to create your patterns first of all. So you can have a biro, a marker pen, you could have some coloured pencils, you could have some coloured felt tips, or alternatively, I quite like to use some watercolour. So I've put some watercolour. I will say actually that you can print this out just on ordinary your copy paper in your printer. But what you can do, I've actually cut a piece of cartridge paper, or just cartridge paper, and actually fed my cartridge paper through the printer. That it's, you know, as long as it's nice and smooth down the sides, that's going to go through quite easy. So if you want to use more wet media, cartridge paper through the printer works very well, and also it's very good for wet media, so we can do that. So what are you got to do? What have you got to do? So the mindful practice is actually, first of all, with your biro, your pencil, is actually think about the scales and the pattern on the fish. So it could have, well, first of all, it could have just its gills just around there like that, and then from there you could have made just ordinary, just like little petal shapes like that, and just keep repeating that shape. And just that shape on its own is quite repetitive and quite relaxing, just trying to concentrate and trying to get it as neat as possible around the fish, just going around the fish. You might do something else. It might not be scales at all. It might be little stripes, little lines. It's entirely down to you, but I'm just going to take my time and I'm just going to continue until I get to the end like that and keep going. Anything that doesn't have to be drawing, but anything that's repetitive, that you're just doing the same shape over and over again, or the same action, is almost like a meditation. That's why things like knitting and crochet, where you can get into the rhythm of just doing something, just a repetitive action, again, can then start to feel quite meditative. I nearly getting to the end there. How are you doing, Ray? Oh, you started? Good.
I started. Now, I have gone for scales like you, but I'm doing mine slightly different, if people can see. I've just started with sort of almost semicircles on top of each other. But you know, like you say, it's actually a really, we do all sorts of different exercises on this channel every week, and the idea is, as we've said, when we don't want to be a channel that teaches you how to be the most amazing watercolor artist, or teaches you how to, I was going to say work with clay. I mean, clearly we're not working with clay, but do you know what I mean? It's not a, there are some brilliant channels out there that's what they're doing. They're teaching you techniques. We're not. We're almost teaching you mindfulness. That's
yes.
And this really is a mindful practice, and we have them of varying degrees, but already I sense that this one is, I mean, some we just have outrageous fun with and we laugh and giggle and we're like toddlers again in the primary school.
We are.
But this one is definitely mindful, because as you said, you're getting into a rhythm. If you were sitting there doing it quietly, it's just like I say, we talk about relaxing the brain and doing something very simple with the brain, but something which takes the brain's attention away from the struggles of life, really. And this is perfect.
Exactly. And, you know, there's a lot of these adult colouring books out there on the market, which, you know, are great, you know, if you want to. But actually, you know, we've got a couple of things that you can just download for free. And, you know, you might be at work in your coffee time, or you might be at home working. You know, a lot of us now work from home. And you might just, you do deserve to give yourself like 10-20 minute break for a coffee and to just take your mind off into something else. If you've been staring at a screen, you know, doing whatever work you're doing at home, you need to do something where you're off the screen and looking down, so you can print off these fishes and then just start decorating. You've got your coffee on, and then just start doing something a little bit more creative and a little bit more fun. I've even just started like his little tail fins here, just put a little decoration in there as well. So I'm just going to do a little decoration in the tail also, so that's quite nice.
And like you say, I mean, you know, the temptation is, and we all do it, that as soon as you get a break, you know, if you're at your desk or whatever, you get your phone out, you start scrolling. And we've talked,
I bet, you know, that's what people do. And I just think, you know, we really must be aware of that, because we're back on another screen.
Yes.
You know, we've gone from one screen in front of us where we're working, you know, home working or in an office or something like that, and then we go and get our phone and start looking at that screen. Actually, and I think for exercise for the eyes is actually good to not look at a screen and look down at a piece of paper and start focusing on that as well. That's made me think, because actually I've started doing, normally I wear glasses. I even put glasses on sometimes to look at the camera in front of me. And actually I haven't done that. I will put on my glasses, but you know, I just think it's just something, again, try and exercise those eyes and just to relax and to start to make some marks. It's a really nice thing to do while you're having a break. Love it. That fish is looking amazing.
It's also relaxing the brain as well, because when you're using social media, you know, or you're looking on your phone or whatever, once again, it's about you're firing the brain with all this multitude of images and thoughts and overstimulation. And that's what we're trying to do. In a way, it sounds weird, but we're trying to understimulate the brain, aren't we? That's what we're trying to do here. That's what you do with mindfulness.
and what it is creating the brainwaves into a calming pattern, not getting so, you know, if I'd said, right, I want you to draw 3 fish, that might have actually overstimulated your brain. So,
Yeah.
oh my God, I can't draw fish, or what, you know, these fish don't look right. You might be trying to rub them out or trying to make them perfect. I provided you with the fish, I provided you with the template. So now it's just about rhythmical pattern. So we're moving down to the next one now. So think about something a little bit different. So maybe the scales or that are slightly different for this one. So I'm going to do sort of a pattern. I'm going to keep, so this is maybe not about the scales, it might be about the pattern of colors on the, so I'm doing little marks like that. That's quite nice, and sort of giving it just a little curve and going in like so.
I've done a similar thing. I've done a sort of wavy line. I had a mackerel in my head. I was sort of thinking of the stripes on a mackerel.
Yes. I've never been lucky, well, I say lucky or fortunate enough to go like deep, say, diving in more tropical water. So, you know, they just imagine all those like little Finding Nemo type fish out there, you know, or you might have a tropical fish tank at home, you know, who knows? Or you could have a look at one. I always like going to pet shops and having a look at the fish tank. I think the responsibility of a tropical fish tank would be a little bit too much for me, because I'd be like getting it wrong. But I love to see all the colors. Don't forget the tails. Don't forget that the tail has got plenty of little bits of space here to decorate. And do a little bit in there as well. So the bottom one, the bottom one. What have you done on that one, Rachel? What's the bottom one?
You know, well, I was thinking about, you know, mackerel, when they've got the sort of big black marks on them, haven't they? And it's almost like circles. But I thought, I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm just going to do circles on them to go completely different. Okay,
that sounds good. That is good. I'm going to just almost like little rainbows or little circles like that. And
I mean, these are great exercises to do with kids as well, you know, and we've had supporters of our channel who have said that they, you know, they've really enjoyed doing these exercises with their grandchildren. And that's that obviously as an adult, we need that break because we're so overloaded. But for children, these are lovely exercises to do. You know, like say, we're always saying get kids off the phones and things. Well, do it. Just look through our things. I would say that any single tutorial we've done is okay with children. I mean, obviously you have to supervise them, because I can't remember if we've used any sharp tools. I'm not sure that we have, but
I don't think we have. No, not at all.
I think you have to say from a legal perspective, you know, children must be supervised so they don't eat the paints. Like that. But in terms of abilities, you know, kids could do these things really easily.
Yes, they could. So now is the opportunity to now you've done your pattern, is actually give it a little bit of color. So what you're going to use, your pencils, felt tips. What have you got to hand? What's at home? And as I always say, you know, you might not have any colors at home. You might just have some food coloring. You might even only have a jar of coffee. So mix up a little bit of coffee, add some like just a little bit of brown tones to some of these, you know, just whatever you've got at home. I think I'll do this middle one first of all. I'm just thinking what colors I'm going to do. I'm just going to give him some stripes. And again, when I've added the paint on, don't have to worry too much that you're going right up to the edge. You're just giving the impression of a little bit of color there, like that. I use quite a wideish brush, really. Excellent.
It's amazing, actually, you know, because we were talking about paints, and I was thinking that my paints were really quite dull because they weren't expensive paints or whatever. It's not that. My paints are really bright now. I think it's because they were an old set from my daughter's early colouring years, many, many, many years ago. And I think they just dried with, like, you know, a wash on them from when she was very small and didn't really pay attention to colours and was just mixing them all. And they'd all sort of gone browny, and now the colours are coming through. They're fine.
Really? It's a lot better, a lot better. Yeah, because actually you used to say, oh, it's not as bright. They're not as bright. But I think, like the more you use them and picking, and in fact, actually, Rachel, you've probably learned to actually pick up more color onto your brush.
Yes.
I reckon. I think probably it's also it's technique as well. It's about picking up the color and using the color.
You're right. I think you're right.
You don't have to color all of it in. You could just color some of it in. Leave some white bits that haven't got any color.
See, we've forgotten again now that we're doing a YouTube channel. We've gone so
We've gone off into our own little world. It all went quiet there for a minute because we're just so absorbed in what we're doing. It's what happens, isn't it? It really does. I think I'm looking at, oh, purple. I like purple. Have a little bit of purple. I always sort of like brush a little bit of the color off on a little spare bit of paper by the side, and just sort of testing the color first of all. What sort of is it the right color for me?
you just can't go wrong. That's what, as
No.
I said, you know, this is just playtime. You can't go wrong. And it's, you know, you learn through everything you do.
Yes.
You know.
There you are. Looking good. So I think. What colours?
Oh wow, you've gone so fast.
Have I? Have I?
Yes.
You're still on your first fish. Don't worry, I'm going to do some extras for people, some extension tasks. That's what they call it. So extension tasks. They're going to just. I just want to find that. That's nice. Right, yellow in there. I could use. No, not having that one.
I've got a bit of gradation going on here.
What have you got going on?
Gradation.
Oh, yes, you have. So once I've coloured my fish, what I'm thinking of is, you know, quite like to have, I'm going to just brush in some cold water. I think cold water, it shouldn't really be hot, but I'm just going to brush in a little bit of water. I'm just going to wet around the fish, and then I'm going to just bleed in a little bit of blue, so it gives it a little bit of a background around it, like that. Pick up some nice blue. Where's blue? Aha, there we are. No. What's that one? That's it. And I'm just going to let a little bit of blue just bleed in a little bit around the fish. That's it.
Woo! I'm loving this little blue fella. Whoa.
Oh, look at him. He actually, where his eye is, he's looking like he means business to me.
He does mean business. He's got go faster stripes. He has. He's heading off for his lunch, or he's running a shark.
So while mine's still wet, I'm just dabbing on a few little splats of paint there, giving that a little bit of animation there. I've got my hairdryer. I'm going to just lightly give it a little dry over.
Oh, I wish I had You know those gold metallic pens?
Oh yes.
I wish I could put on some lovely gold flecks now if I had one of those.
Oh, are we over gilding the lily?
No. I might have to go to the local craft shop. I can see me buying
Gold sparkly pens. I love
gold
it.
sparkly pens. Right, let's do his
Yeah.
tail. Lovely.
Lovely. Well, I've just asked, what paper did you use when you put it through the printer there, Rachel?
Oh,
What have you used?
I just used a copy of paper because I just printed out the
Oh,
PDF from the
yeah,
site.
yeah. So that's worked really well with the
Yeah,
copy
but
paper.
he's drying now, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, it has
Yeah.
wrinkled, but I don't think it matters.
No, not for this exercise at all. And you know, if your paper does, once it's dried, and if it's slightly sort of like you think, oh, it's not flat, just wedge it between two heavy books, like on your bookshelf, or lay one on top of the other, and just leave it there. And over time, it will flatten out. So it's not going to do it within half an hour, but if you leave it there for a few days, you'll find that it will have flattened out a lot better than perhaps when it's all a little bit buckled up. So no, that's fine.
Right, I'm just doing the C.
See.
Yeah, I like your bubbles.
So I just drew it. All I did was when it was dry, I just do a few circles. And then actually I got my trusty little white Posca pen out and just did a few little white dots within the circle. So it's sort of like a reflection on the bubbles and do that. But what else, what else could you put in there, into the sea? You could have some seaweed pieces going through.
I was just
You could take
about to do that.
see, I'm reading your mind. So you can take it exactly wherever you want to. You can do other things through it as well. So
Yes.
it could be your own little tropical fish under the sea.
Yeah, I was just thinking of some some seaweed.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably just leave it there now. I'll leave it there.
Oh,
I like that. Or you could put some stones in there. Oh, you can have a fish tank.
and we've done pebbles and stones as a workshop a few weeks ago. So if you want to do some stones and pebbles, go back and have a look at that, because yes, you could put a few small pebbles and stones on the bottom of your shore, under the water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely.
You were over there, and now you're over there.
I know. Get around me. Get around. Now I will say, I do have painting.
No.
Yes, I do. I think mine is definitely the primary school version, and yours is definitely once again the art school teacher version.
I never think of myself as the art school teacher. I just, like the rest of you, I just enjoy being creative.
Yeah, but you just have talent. You have a talent that just exceeds mine. I mean, no, I hope my fish are not listening, because look, he's already getting grumpy. He's going, don't you even.
He's pouting a bit.
He's in a huff. But yeah, no, I think yours is obviously, I like it how you've done your water, you see. I just did it as a swoosh, but you've done like clumps of water almost, which is effective. So yeah, very good. Very good. But do you know what? I still had fun. I still had minutes of just painting and having fun. And that is what it's about. Mine is not going in my Tate Modern exhibition, because obviously I'm curating it at the moment. That's not going to go in.
You're not allowed. Curator, you have an outside person doing the curating. They decide what stays and goes.
They're going to pick that ain't going in.
But this is a good thing towards the end, because I think then, now we're starting to compare. You must not compare to what I've done, to what Rachel's done, or anyone else you might see. It is about the process, and it's about what you've done, and you've spent time just getting absorbed into it and enjoying it, enjoying with the paintbrush, enjoying with the paints or the pencil, the pen in your hand, having some fun and some relaxation, some mindfulness.
Yeah. And the one thing I am doing, it's interesting you've said about, you know, a year-long creative journey, is the way that I hold my paintbrush. I think in the beginning I was almost holding it like this, whereas
Yeah.
now I'm just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
painting an orchestra. It you know, it does feel much better. There is a better flow to it. So, you know, I've definitely learned in the last year. But the one thing I've learned is that these creative exercises and these creative sessions we do every week are so important to me as well, because I run a business and sometimes, you know, life can get too much. And this is a really good thing to do. Don't reach for your phone, reach for a piece of paper. And, you know, as you say, if you're at work, you don't need all these pens and things. You could have some felt tip pens in your top drawer. You could. You just grab some felt tip pens. And that's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. And your imagination. Just use your imagination. I'm always singing. I hope YouTube won't pick up these things and charge me millions of pounds. Right. Lovely, Gary. Lovely YouTuber. Great to have your company. Thank you so much for joining us. Do have a rummage around the rest of the playlist, the tea time tutorials. We're nearly on 50 videos, I think now, if not just over. So do have a look. Lots and lots of sessions for you. And of course, we will see you the next time. If you put the notification bell on right now, you'll know when the next time is, because it will go ding, ding, ding. The Crafty Monkeys have posted again. And it's as simple as that. Right. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Bye.